What is up, everybody? How we doing this evening? I'm a couple minutes late, but we got a ton of people on here already. How's everybody doing tonight? Nice to see everybody. Happy Monday night fishing. We got some big news today. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew, Chip. Let's see. Well, we got a bunch of people here already. John Karnowski, Peter Arcuri, Scott Lees, Ed Roder, Dan Biddle, Bob Bender, Hook and Eyes. What's up, Dennis? Scott Lees, Tim Cook, Tammy Hoover, Merlin Johnson, Don Terry, Jay Dam. 58 days. That's right. Michael Hoover. Man, what is going on, everybody? Yeah, Walleye Fest. Let's talk about Walleye Fest, baby. So I am proud to announce we have a signed agreement in place today that we will be hosting our event, our live awards ceremony Sunday afternoon at Brewerton Speedway. And you'll see if you saw the new logo that I put up today. We updated our logo, kept the same great logo, but made a few changes to make it the forever going forward logo. The great people over at Brewerton Speedway, Corey Reed, Mr. White, everybody involved over there. All of my partners, Chuck Orlando, Nick Ford, Pat Mooney, we really wanted to have someplace local for Chuck and I. We both live right there, and having something that everybody knows where it is. We have unlimited parking for Sunday's event. Whether you have a boat, doesn't matter. We have more parking than we can fill back there. If we had every single person that fishes Walleye Fest come to the awards ceremony, which this year I hope everybody does. This year I'm working to get some sort of door prize so everybody walks out of Walleye Fest with something. And we're going to have it at Brewerton Speedway, and everybody knows where Brewerton Speedway is. Now, on Friday night of Walleye Fest, that Friday night, the 3rd of May, that is opening night at Brewerton Speedway. That's their first race of the season, and Walleye Fest is the title sponsor of that. So anybody that has a Walleye Fest ticket already can get into the race for a discount. I'm not sure what the discount is, but they can get in for a discount and enjoy that opening night race. We have also at the same time and later into the evening, we have the kickoff party going at the pier, same place as last year. Just today, Josh Deakins from the Grizzly Ridge Band will be playing again this year inside, and we may have somebody else playing this year inside for the kickoff party. That's Friday night, May 3rd. The Derby starts 12:01 Saturday morning on May 4th. It's going to run this year. We've shortened it a couple hours. Last year, if everybody remembers the award ceremony, it got dark and it got stormy, and we had to. And used to the Derby was going to go to 3. We've pulled that back to noon. And I did that for a lot of reasons. I took that time away at the back end because we're going to have a lot of people coming from out of town. And if you win, you're going to want to be there and be in the middle of all that. If you're on the, you're going to want to, and if you got to get home, and I get it, that's why we're going to start. The Derby will end at noon, and we'll start the awards ceremony at 1. That's a full 4 hours earlier than we did it last year, and I think we'll be in good shape. And then we're going to have a big awards ceremony, obviously, like we did last year on Sunday. So that's what Walleye Fest is. There's a lot of stuff coming out about it. Now, what I'm going to tell you is we're going to have 4 weigh stations. I don't have the weigh stations lined up right now. I know the great people over to Eyes Guys, the new shop out in. I'm going to give you a free plug because they reached out to me and offered to have a way station at their facility. So they're in Constantia. They're in the old Velas, now Buckingham Plaza, right there. Um, so that's what we're doing there. Um, so Bruton Speedway, we are um, that will be our home. Hopefully, going forward, that's our plan. We're not doing the spring festival that went along with it. We're not doing the Walley Fest festival this year. Um, I really wanted to focus on the Derby. I want to expand a few things and give people more options, more choices. Um, and I want to make this the best, the most fun, the biggest prizes. Like I really want to make this the biggest and the best that I possibly can. And my partners and I have teamed up. Dakota Lithium has already signed on the dotted line to be another one of our great sponsors this year. Craig Storms, or if you know him, Stormy, at Dakota Lithium has been a supporter of Walleye Fest from before day one. He called me last year this time and said, I want in. I like what you're doing, and Dakota Lithium wants to be a part of it. So Walleye Fest 2024 is powered by Dakota Lithium. I run them in my boat every day. They're the industry standard. So thank you, Stormy, my brain. Number two on the incredible sponsor list is the people at Oswego County Tourism. Um, I've been working with a couple people up there, some last year, more this year, and more to come on our great friends at Oswego County Tourism Department. But Oswego County takes up most of the North Shore of Oneida Lake, and people think of Oswego County as Oswego, the Salmon River, the Little Salmon River, Eastern Lake Ontario. They think of that when they think of Oswego County fishing, and we're not going to change that. We're going to add to that, and I've agreed to do. They've asked me to do quarterly written updates for their post, and they're going to be a part of our. I say they're going to be a part of Walleye Fest, and they're going to be a part of the Awakening Angler channel going forward for the rest of the year. And I am so happy. I'm a kid that was born and raised in Oswego County. I graduated from Central Square High School. I live here. I've left and came back because this is my home, and I love Oswego County, and I want to help promote it because I love it, and I want that. I want people to see just how incredible it is where we live, and the amount of world-class fishing you have alone in this very county, unparalleled. Unparalleled. I'd put it up against any singular county around, and we have everything you can want to do. So, thank you, everyone at Oswego County Department of Tourism. There will be more to come on our ongoing relationship and how that's going to come to fruition. So, earlier I said we were going to have 4 measuring stations. I'm going to try and do them one on either shore, one on either end, to the best of my ability. I suppose we could have 4 is what I'm shooting for. Okay. The other part of this year's scenario is going to be the addition of the ability to do what most tournament fishermen outside of, well, not necessarily outside of here, people around here too. There's virtual tournaments now on. There's different apps that have them. There's multiple companies out there. I haven't picked out any one specific yet, but it gives you the ability to use an app on your phone to take a picture of your fish on a bump board with, there's just certain criteria to how to do it. I know one company I spoke with did 30,000 tournament / derby events last year with, God, what they tell me, almost 250,000 entrants total. And that was just one company that I talked to. There's multiple companies. out there, but I'm still going to do weigh stations. I would like to go completely virtual for a number of reasons, and I'm going to give you my personal reasons because this is my derby. Um, I don't want I want to make the derby 100% catch and release as far as the derby is concerned. Um, I don't want to have to kill these big, beautiful fish that we're out there trying to catch. Um, I don't want to kill them if we don't have to. What someone does with their fish after it's been caught is completely up to you and within the letter of the law, and that's not for me. Um, for me, for my derby, I'm trying to do this. You can call it whatever you want, virtual. Some people call it CPR, which stands for catch, photograph, and release. So that's what catch, photograph, and release. And so that way it can be done instantaneously. And if you're so inclined to let it go, boom, it goes right back in the water, or in your live well. Again, but for us, it's just the the catch. Let's do this right. The catch, the photograph, and then do whatever is the release. But for us, we consider it released. Um, Now, what I will say, and I'm not ready to release the full spectrum of what we're going to do, but we're going to expand what we're doing for Walleye Fest. So last year, the ticket for Walleye Fest was $25. That's not going to change. It doesn't go up this year. It stays at $25. And that gets you into the main leaderboard, which is the Lunker Walleye board that it's always been since 1979. You can call it what you want. It's a single fish entry into a big, in this situation, length into the longest fish. So it is just a lunker board, for lack of a better term. So you pay your $25, you get into that. You're into the Walleye Fest main lunker walleye board. Boom. You're just like you always were. You can stop right there. Now, if you'd like to get into other boards and get into other subcategories, whether it be for walleye or even a couple other species this year, then you're going to have that option. You can get into optional boards that are, now, if it's a walleye board, it'll say clearly that so for instance, youth, that's 15 and under. The youth division is just like it was last year, and it's all prizes, no cash for the youth. Okay, anybody that falls into that age bracket with the written consent, like we did last year, from the parent who signs them up, that they can participate in the adult division and win a cash prize, they can do that as well. Any child can fish the adult division if they'd like. If they choose to fish the youth division, that's unto itself, and that is everything that all the places, all the top 10 finishers, it's all just like we did last year, prize packages. So now for the youth, I've expanded the youth. So the youth category will be walleye, yellow perch, or panfish. And for panfish, it's going to be crappie bluegill sunfish. And so that's the youth. The youth can be in any of those three, or all three of them, one fish each. But the walleye board, our main lunker board that everyone gets into when you pay your $25, that stays the same. So this year we are going to do a ladies division, a kayak division. These are subdivisions. And I'm working on a couple other ones. Those are just a few. Now, those are the same thing. So if a lady has bought her ticket to the lunker board and has the option to spend another whatever $10 to get into the ladies board, and she catches the her fish places in the top whatever of the main board, and it also places in the ladies board, and she wins both because she's entered in it. So that way people have an option. They can, or how many people last year were out there and caught a ton of fish? Caught a ton of fish, just maybe not a big one, walleyes. Or how many fish were out there and, I heard it last year. Man, I set the hook and I thought I had the winner, man. I thought I had the winner, and this giant sheep's head came up. What if there was a leaderboard for sheep's head? Or what if there was one in the adult, and that's what these would just be adult divisions, and it would pay out X number of places depending on how many people are in it. And that would all be preset and everybody would see it. But like, you're already out there fishing. And so you might catch a sheep's head. And this is just a night of lake on our opening weekend derby. You might catch a sheep's head. You could catch a big pickerel or a northern. You could catch a big yellow perch. You could catch a big catfish, especially the guys on the east end. That happens more often than not. Or you could catch a giant sunfish that's 11 inches long, and you're like, man, that's awesome. Too bad there wasn't a derby for that. What if there was? What if there is? That's because that's what we're doing. So these are all options that anyone out there can choose to enter or not enter. You're still in Walleye Fest. It is still just the lunker board for biggest, meaning length, longest walleye. Anything below that is up to you. It's at your discretion. It's just something you want to do. And how many people again sat there last year and went, man, I caught, I heard it. Man, I caught everything but a big walleye. That made me think, what if we did other stuff that was just as cool? So I've just said a whole lot of stuff for 20 minutes. I'm sure I've got multiple people having multiple conversations here. Don Terry, how you doing? Jay Dam, yep. Mike Hoover, that's where I left off. Aaron Lussier, Troy, what's going on? Mark Lacerdo, Keith Horns, what's up, brother? Captain Tony Buffa, how you doing, sir? Scott Duranda, Mike Urema. I like these Monday meetings. I know, I do too. John Burrows, we were talking about you this morning, myself and Mr. Messina. I hope you're doing better, John. Paul Krupa, did we go to school together? Beeville, Central Square? Paul Krupa. How many Krupas could I know? Chris Bryan, Danny Diamond, Tammy Hoover, I'm in. Fishing Lure Company, Mark Webb.
Hayden, say hi.
Hi, Hayden. Makes me nervous. Oi. Love the idea of CPR. Yes. So Bill Morey says, love the idea of CPR. High school bass teams have been doing this sort of thing for a while. Released fish go back where they were caught. Yes. Yes, in a lot of things, Bill. Yes. It's far, pretty much any kayak. Well, I think all kayak tournaments, whatever they are, catfish, bass, it could be anything, whatever they're going to do. There's no place for a live well. So that's really the kayak guys are the ones that pioneered this. They have a bump board. They hold the fish with one hand, take the picture with the other. Now there's behind the scenes stuff that you have to do with the app to log in and register your fish. And then it doesn't just get logged in. It goes to a holding room where a tournament official for that specific tournament has to go and look at each fish and decide yay or nay and all that stuff. So they've been doing it in all kayak derbies. It's in the high school derbies. There's a lot of different big big tournament series going to this format. And I said it last week, and I'm not trying to point an ugly finger by any means, but we had the cheating scandals with stuffed fish in the walleye world last year. I don't know if it's been proven. I don't not that I can remember, but I mean, people will talk about it's been in the bass fishing world forever. That state record crappie out in Kansas, I just saw a week or two ago that record has been disallowed because of forensics after the fact, finding foreign matter and foreign bodies inside the fish to increase the weight. So weight is the most easily weight and girth, because if you're stuffing something to add weight, it's increasing the girth. So weight and girth are the easiest manipulated of your different measuring options. My wife's so smart. She's not just beautiful. Length is the truest. And I'm trying to pick my words correctly, not carefully, but correctly. Length is, in my opinion, least easy to manipulate. The length is what it is. People are going to argue that things could be done. I'm sure they could. Part of us have to all hope in the good nature of human beings, to be honest and upfront. And we're all in this for fun. And you involve money and people want to cheat. I get it. In my opinion, going length based, which is what this derby has always done, so it's nothing new to anybody that's fished this derby. It just works because, in my opinion, that's the best unit. And again, it's just a unit of measure. It doesn't diminish or change the fish any, and everybody's under the same unit of measure. So I like it. I like it a lot. It was suggested to me last year, and I didn't think I could implement it quickly enough. But this year it is implemented. I am doing it. Michael Hoover, just like a kayak bass tournament. Brian Stone, what did I miss? I can't, but I'll catch you up on the backside. I saw your hand, Eric. I don't know what you did, but stop doing it. I hope you're okay. And that's his jigging hand. He did a big cut right in the palm of it. So how much will these subdivisions cost? Dennis asked. I'm not sure. My guess is I'm not sure, but I thought $10 or less. I would think, unless everybody clamors for a sub leaderboard that's more than that. But I don't know. I think for this year, I think somewhere's in the $10 or less would be just fine. It's not okay. Well, then I grew up with a Paul Krupa, and this one from Niagara Falls. That's funny. No, originally from Niagara Falls. Well, there is a Paul Krupa then in Syracuse somewhere. Maybe. Well, was. How's that for? Going to be a phenomenal season again. Real Naturals Charter and Guide Service. All right, Captain. Well, I got two captains. So Tony Buffa and Jason from Real Naturals. I'm going to ask you both this question. So I thought about having a sub leaderboard for charter customers, because every guide I know of is going to be booked for Walleye Fest. And what if we do a sideboard that all the charter captains enter, just like we used to do, Tony, with the Lock Derby and in the old days, when the Eslo Derby was going on, when you got on the charter, you were entered in the Derby, because that would have been the day you caught the big one and you weren't entered in the Derby. So you could do this. We could do the same thing with charter customers. And I started talking about it last year, but whoever's charter customer wins that board, they're like the King Charter Captain for the year. King of Walleye Fest Charter Captain. I mean, he should probably get some sort of trophy that passes on from year to year. Like, that's something I would really like to do. In the world of digital creation now, which is nice, is that we can keep these records forever. You can go to the website right now, WalleyeFest.com. Most of it's the same stuff from last year. It's being updated behind the scenes. We're changing a few things. Tentatively, right now, it is still going to be the place to go to buy tickets. Tickets will not go on sale again. Tentatively, March 15th is what I'm shooting for. So we'll see, but it's coming. It's coming pretty soon. Stab my hand with a metal stud. Gloves. Can't wait till May. Great idea, which could keep us on the water and not racing back to get a weigh-in station. Also like the side species boards idea. Thank you. So some of these boards, some of these leaderboards, again, will be clearly marked that they will be. So again, it's just a matter of it's funny. They're just spreadsheets, and they can keep track of any formula we put in. So 2 of the walleye boards that I am tentatively kicking around is best 5. Okay. So again, when you enter your fish, it goes to, how do I say it? Not your account, but it's tracking you by your number and your entry number, let's say. So I'd like to do a best 5 category, and also most keepers, which would be like a King of Walleye Fest. I would think the criteria would be who measures in the total, most total length in the 36-hour tournament. Those 2 specific boards, those would have to be done remotely, CPR only. There would be no other way around that. All right, I'm reading Chris Bryan's comment here, and Chris says, "I get it, and I'll support it. I just think many may be skeptical of people trying to cheat the system without having to present the actual fish. Most people keep their walleye, and there's only a handful of fish over 24 inches that are taken out for the tournament." Let me address that. Thanks, Chris. That's a fantastic statement that I think ultimately we all share in that skepticism. I don't want to be skeptical of my fellow man, honestly, and people that know me the best may say I'm a little naive when it comes to people's intentions, and I always tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. That being said, in my position, I have to play cop, and that is, how can I present something to everyone that is fun, entertaining, and fair. And those are really 3, maybe even in that order, of my guiding principles. I can't tell you, and no one can at the highest levels, because we've seen them cheated and defrauded by criminals who were willfully and skillfully planning this out well outside of the norm that anybody could possibly guard against. So that being said, we can't guarantee that somebody's not going to cheat. Um, if the same person or the same, you know, two people in the same boat both measure fish that are exactly the same length, that would garner further inspection by whoever is the person that has to accept that fish. Now, maybe they wouldn't know that. You say, okay, maybe they wouldn't. I can't answer every single scenario. This isn't new technology or a new concept. It's been used now for years successfully, as successfully as anything else. I wish I could. I wish I could be more specific about that, Chris. I get it, and I I don't disagree with you. Um, you are still presenting the fish, though virtually. You know, there are criteria that will be spelled out in the rules when we get to that point clearly, and how the picture has to be taken, and yada yada, so we can really see and inspect as best we can. But um, I think the benefits of it, especially when it comes to fish care, which we're all fishermen, and whether you keep the fish or not, ultimately it doesn't matter. We all care about them, and if I'm keeping my fish today, I would like to know that people that are releasing them are doing it with some care and concern, so that we can all try and catch them again tomorrow. Because tomorrow I might release my fish, so I don't care about the keeper let go. That's irrelevant to me. Um, all right, let's see. So he says, I like the subdivision option. This is still Chris Bryan. Me and my buddies usually make a couple side wagers, anyways, for other species. Well, now you and your buddies could be thousands of people. Let's see. Jay Dam asked the question: is there cell coverage over the entire lake to make CPR a success? Yes. As far as I believe, I've been, yes, yes. Eric, I'll be making a trip in a week and a half to fish the Colorado River for striper. You talking about the Colorado River that runs through the Grand Canyon? That Colorado River? Let's see. Let's see. Hook and eyes. Some old timers don't have the ability to do online apps, but all those old timers did it last year and entered the Derby, um, and they all have friends and families that can that can assist them with that. I'm not trying to exclude anybody. Quite the opposite. This is the world we live in, and I'm bringing our great Derby into the 21st century to live, you know, another 45 years. Sorry, my phone's next. Let me turn everything down. Sorry. Um, yeah, these are things that will eventually happen one way or another. Um, Tammy's looking for a cabin on the South Shore for rent. Let's see. Will night fishing create any issues for the CPR? No, no. Time of day doesn't matter. Tony Buffo, great idea, Matt, for captains to share in the notoriety of a winning catch. Absolutely, Captain. Why wouldn't you? Um, this is Walleye Fest is quickly becoming a big deal. I mean, I bet I'm getting 15 emails a day through the website. When do tickets go on sale? Um, it's exciting, and that excitement is what's leading me to do more things. Now, these are tentative things that I've said, and we as a group will settle on our final on what we're going to do on the final options. But I mean, it's really going to be very simple. It's again, it's as simple as you want to make it. There is a $25 leaderboard, and that is walleyes only, big fish. It's one singular big fish, and that doesn't change. That never changes. Everything after that are drop down menus at your discretion. If that's something that interests you, great. If it doesn't, great. I'm just offering, I get excited over it. So I'm offering people things that I think that I would be like, man, that's cool. I want to go do that. That's how I thought of it. So if everybody's down, great. If they're not, well, it doesn't hurt anything. So, all right, everybody just popped on. What do you mean? What do you all mean by CPR? Scott, that stands for catch, photograph, and release. And we're talking about having a mixed derby this year with measuring stations and with virtual. Right. Virtually entering that information. So that's what everybody means. I didn't know they had, Eric, I didn't know they had stripers out there. He said he's going to be in Arizona and Nevada. That'd be awesome. Yeah, like Mike said, any of the old timers that I'm not forcing them to do it through the app. All they got to do is bring their fish to a measuring station, just like they've always done. So, doesn't have to be that way. But for everybody else, the features are far more than what we had last year. It's exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff. All right, everybody. We're over 30 minutes. Anybody got any more questions they want to talk about? We did all Walleye Fest tonight. We can talk about other stuff. I was on the river today, the Oneida River, here at my house, put the boat in the water. My buddy Paul did come up this morning. I was shocked at how warm the water was in the river, considering it was pretty colored. I had 35, 35.2 every place I was. Current was moving pretty good too. We went down and spot locked on a bunch of we went and spot locked on a couple spots in the river where I thought if there was fish in there early looking to get up on gravel, they might be up in there sneaking around. We didn't touch anything today. We fished 2 hours, I would say. I think we fished till a little after 9. It was beautiful, and that east wind was howling, so neither of us really felt like going out there in the boat and getting the snot beat out of us. But as long as this wind stays down, I'm going tomorrow morning out in the main lake, and I think I might even troll. I think I might troll and see if I can cover some water and find some fish, and then start trying to dial them in. I mean, there's still 2 weeks left of walleye season. Well, a little less than that now. 11 days, doesn't close to the 15th. So everybody's still got time. I would think creek mouse all around this lake would start being good. I haven't heard of anything yet, but normally none of us would ever have a chance to be out there right now. I can't think of any time, like even last year, I didn't put my old boat in this early. It was still iced. I can't think of a time where we've had the ability to put all of our boats in if we wanted to before the season closes. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. All right, we got a separate conversation going on down here. All right. If nobody has any more questions, I think we'll call it an evening. And two, feel free. You can comment below, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I have. If you have something else, you feel free to DM me offline. All right, everyone, have a great evening. Thank you very much, and keep your tip up.